Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. So, yeah, happy to connect with you again, whether live or on the replay. And also very excited that Natalia MacLeod is back on the show. Um, yeah, she joined us, I think, yeah, last season, and it was really powerful call. First, like the discussion we had about the subject at that time, it was very inspiring, and also like the her interaction with you live and the readings and the one-on-one work she did. It was really impressive and really powerful. And also like later after that, I had a session with her, and yeah, actually the reading was pretty accurate because I wasn't feeling comfortable in my stomach, and then she picked up the like what was the cause, and without me mentioning that, and also the reaction that's I started to have, and then later after some time I started testing, and I found yeah alternative food for that, and yeah now I feel really very comfortable in my stomach, so yeah I feel really
Good.
normal. Uh,
Good.
and Yeah, so for those of you who are new to her, she is a spiritual engineer, and she assists people in transforming emotional and physical blockages through vibrational medicine. And and the topic today is you are your aura. So she will be sharing about that and how uh, our auric field affects our feelings, like in the whole time like timeline, whether past, present, or future, and and also how from that field we can create new vibration, new desired direction. So it's a really powerful topic. So I'm excited about it. And also we'll have a Q&A where you can ask her your questions. And for that, you can raise your hand on Zoom by pressing reactions, then raise hand. And on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, so with that, Natalia, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Oh, thank you so much, Monsef.
Yeah.
I appreciate your introduction and your invitation, as well as your experience with having a session with me. I'm glad your stomach's feeling good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, much better. Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
great. It's always nice to be here. Um, yeah, so it's interesting because when you mentioned like you are your aura, I wrote that and I thought it sounds simplistic because a lot of times, especially in the healing world, we speak of the aura and we just whether one sees it. Not everyone sees it. Even people um, that are gifted in that manner, we sense it. We pick up on the emotions behind it, whether we're intuitive or not.
Mm.
And I think I've mentioned this before. It's like we all know the feeling of walking into a room and someone's back is to us and we can feel their mood and their state. So that is actually picking up on someone's aura and what's going on, what's vibrating in the moment. And when I wanted to talk about it was because so many of my clients have physical pain or emotional things that they're working on. And what I realize is it's always that we have the focus on our physical body. And yes, our physical body is the manifestation actually of our our template around us, our layers, the various layers. And not just the aura, but there are morphogenic field and our auric field. Um, these are all comprised of who we are, but our auras actually informs our physical body and our in the chakras, the in-body chakras, as well as the out-body ones. So it was interesting when I do work. I think people understand now that I don't need to physically, and many healers don't need to physically be in the same room or touch the physical body. Sometimes that still eludes us, or we just, clients that just believe it because they've had an experience with it. But what I wanted people to understand is they could start to create that and shift that vibration outside, and that will start to give them a power and allow them to understand how they can govern the emotions or the physical ailments that are going on in their body. They can start to shift those. And it's when we stop focusing on the actual physical body. So I think we're familiar with the 7 embodied chakras that everyone talks about, and obviously I work with 12, but there are also layers in the auric field. So sometimes people think it's just colors and they're floating around. I often mention that right off the body, and it's when we do clearing, there are different traditions and systems, and they all vary somewhat, but I think they all come together in knowing that there is a field. It does affect the physical body as well as the mind. That's not in the physical body. It's part of who we are, and that's why I said it is who we are, because this is not separate from here. And in fact, this we can elicit change in our field, which then just translates into the physical body. So it's something I wanted to just shed a light on and remind people, especially in these days of, quantum codes and all these, like, the myriad of things that are thrown out. Not everyone sees ones and zeros, right? So, and not everyone sees vibrations or colors, but there is a sense, if you understand that if you were to outstretch your arm and realize that this is over here, there is an energy, a force. And when meditating or in contemplation or whatever, however one wants to elicit change in their life, if it's focused out here, it's more readily available for the physical body to shift rather than trying to focus on the actual physical body. So perfect examples. You said you had when we worked together, you had stomach issues. One would often focus on the stomach or the microbiome. Even if you were a visual person, you might visualize that, or have someone working on your large or small intestines. It's often hard, especially if there's something, because it's dense. And if there's something going on and you're working on a migraine and you have a migraine, it's hard to focus on not having a migraine. But if you understand that over here in the third layer of your aura is the mental body, and the mental body houses the emotions and holds the emotions and mental processes, then in a contemplation or a meditation practice, you could focus on that third layer and bring in the color and the light of the auric field in there, and that starts to shift the vibration, which then shifts it embodied. So a lot of times when we think of the physical body, we just think of this dense, slow, beautiful body that we have that carries us through life. What we have to know is the etheric layer that sits right on and off the skin actually holds our life force and all of the life vital energy. So when we want energy, it's sort of the idea is like, how do we get energy? But if you focus on the layer right off the skin and you feel into that, you can feel a vibration. Certainly a healer can when they put their hands next to you, or you can if you practice and you feel next to someone's skin, you can feel there's a vibration. And that vibration, if you start calling in energy, you bring it in through there, it will make its way into your physical body. Because if you just think about your physical body and bringing energy in, it's sort of, it's sort of like, well, where is it coming from? Is it coming through the top of my head? It can. Is it coming through my feet? It can. But if you want it to envelop your whole being, which is what we are, that is where it'll come from. So there's also a beauty, and it's where a lot of gifted healers can work from in terms of shifting. Let's say someone that's looking to shift or call in something they desire. Well, if there's an influx of energy brought into the outer layers of your field, then the body can sort of pull it in. It's not from the body that we pull something in, it's from our auric field. So there's this there's Rupert Sheldrake, who was a physicist, and certainly James Oshman, who was a scientist, and they often talk about that field, which is magnetism. And so we know that when we want to call something forward, we think of it, and we might visualize it and feel into it, and that will bring it forward. There's actually a layer in our field, it's the 11th layer, and that layer, when something's called in, you should be pretty clear about what you want to call in, because it'll come in. But that layer of your field holds the vibration between matter and antimatter. So it's where something comes into being, literally. And the beauty of this is, in that plasma, which is what this is, it's, these subatomic particles, and they're these graduating layers. That is where we hold emotions, ancestral things that we carry, our chronic illnesses and terminal illnesses are held right off the body. So if we can shift these things, as well as ancestral patterns, they're held off the body. If we can shift the things that we're looking to move in our auric field, then they shift in our physical reality, and certainly in our physical bodies. So it's just it's something to play with, rather than focusing on the physical body so much, which I think we just do because we can see it, feel it, touch it. But the magic is really here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love that you mentioned, like, play with it, and also your approach to maybe taking it easier, not focusing on the dense parts, because many times when we do that, it just makes the situation maybe more challenging and more difficult, because we are caught in those energies or those feelings, and we start having doubts that maybe things can shift. But yeah, it's like creating a space where we can really breathe, and then from that we can bring that energy to our body. So yeah, that's really beautiful. And so you mentioned that we can start creating the shifts or create what we want from that energy field. Also, another question, can we also use that energy to maybe communicate? Because you said we can connect to others, maybe beings, or like in trees or something like that. So can we use it for that as well?
Yes, absolutely. So the second layer off the body is actually, there's the etheric layer, and then there's the second layer right off of that. And that's actually connected to our 10th chakra. Our 10th chakra is about a foot under our feet. And it's what we use. Well, I suppose I'm really, really focus on that a lot in my practice, in grounding anyone before I do any kind of work, because we are in this world and of this world, and we're creating this manifestation. So, but that 10th chakra layer actually sits between the first and the second layer. And that layer is where we hold, there are codes. So, for anyone that has any fractures or bone marrow issues, that's always held in the 10th chakra with the earth. So that's right off the body. And if you were to, okay, so a good example. So someone has a fracture in their wrist or something. You're absolutely right. This makes, I'm looking at my wrist and it hurts and it's broken, or I can't feel anything because it's broken and it's in a cast. And when the intensity of that thought is just focused on the physicalness of this part of my body, and I don't want to do that too much, I'll literally end up with a fractured wrist in a day. So I'll stop doing that. But the idea is that focus is on the physical body. If you were to take that, like in a practical way to use this, is if you were to take that and focus just like about an inch off of your body, and the color is brown, incidentally, for the earth. It's the color of the 10th chakra. And you were to focus on bringing that energy and clearing that energy with the intention of pulling more of that energy into that layer, then what happens is it creates an electromagnetic field and a radiation, if you will, that when mixed, that becomes ignited, if you will. So then that layer of your aura starts to come into balance. And if you have an understanding of where that is on your body, below your feet, then you can start to pull up what you need. Then the body is actually being fed what it needs from the 10th layer. And the same goes for each layer. So like connecting with spirit is part of your 9th, and there's a color to that. And then when you start bringing in, and when we do our practice, we can bring in the color of the 9th chakra as well as into the layers, and you'll most likely be able to feel the shift coming through into the your physicality. But it has to come through. It's always coming through here anyways. So once it comes through your field, then it can manifest into your body. And I guess my sense and my feeling is we're at this time where we need to shift out of focusing so much on the physical. And when people say they can't connect or feel, it's a way to get in touch with their true energy and their true essence, which is all around them.
Yeah. Beautiful. I like that. And also another question, because you mentioned that sometimes we are trying to connect with that energy field. How do we know if we are in that state or if we are not grounded? Because also, if we are not grounded, we are not connected, like very present with the body. So how can we differentiate between those?
So some people are more sensitive than others, and it's all fine. There usually, when you're sensitive, there usually is a feeling either from the root chakra, which is connected to the base of the spine, the perineum, and that root chakra rounds down into the earth. When you have the intention, because so much of this is subtle, it's subtle energy, right? So it's subtle. When you have the intention of grounding down into the earth, you usually will feel tingling or a warmth through the soles of the feet, is how I usually bring it up. If someone has that practice of just, waking up and placing their feet on the ground and just having the intention and asking that they be grounded, that they feel that energy start to hold them. It will be there irregardless of whether they're on a plane, 40,000 feet up in the air, or walking barefoot on grass or in the sand. It's there because we're connected to the earth, which is why which actually, interesting enough, I'm just getting this, which is why it's no mistake that second layer right off our body is actually connected to the earth, because we are of this earth. We're not just on it, we are of it. So everything that we need to be physical in gravity is here for us, and that's always there first, whether we're sensitive or not. So you're just in the intention of being grounded into earth, bringing that up, and then when you do that enough, there is more of a again, it's subtle, but there's more of an awareness of stability in that first root chakra, because that's our grounding. That's the grounding cord. That's our connection to this earth. It's really important, because a lot of times I'll say, if you look at people who are maybe not grounded, they can be very flighty and sort of whimsical, but they're not stable in the earth. So they're not on an emotional level, maybe can't handle things. And people say, I'm so sensitive. Well, you have to be able to receive information and energy, and also be able to process it in this body, because you are of this body, but also be able to receive the messages from up on high. So that feeling of being connected starts with an intentionality, and then through doing that enough, you start to become aware of maybe being a little bit more solid in your actual body, more stable in it, like a tree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that, and just as you mentioned, that's also, I thought that because also in another hand, like we hear that maybe if we are more into the dense energy, it will affect our body, and then maybe it can create sickness or something, or disease. So how do we know if in a moment we are processing the energies, or we are more like maybe creating more density in our body by feeling that energy?
Yeah, it's a good question. So the emotional layer, which is our second layer, our emotional layer is supposed to bring in feelings and emotions. We were always, as humans, that's why we come here, right? We come to have this experience. So the idea that people say, I'm too emotional, there's no such thing as too emotional. You're just feeling things and you're experiencing feelings. We were never supposed to hold them. We were never supposed to hold them. So the body and that layer, that second emotional layer, the emotional body, as we will, when we feel sadness, or when we feel mad or angry, all these things that we think are lower and bad, they're not. They're just emotions on the spectrum of many things that we can have. An energy in motion, which is an emotion, but we were not supposed to hold them. So as human beings, and especially, we're definitely evolving, no question, that's happened. But for eons, what was thought was, if you had an emotion, then you sort of took it and stored it and kept that, and that was your story. Or if you had an experience and it caused an emotion, then that became your story, and then you kept it and you shared it with people, and you showed it to people, and you would reread the story over and go back and write another chapter, and it becomes long things, like a collecting of them. That's not what we're supposed to do. They're supposed to flow through. They're supposed to flow through. So you feel angry and you know that to let it go. You feel happy and you let it go, because everything is always moving, including your aura, including the auric field, the layers. They're moving all the time. Um, they're just emitting. They're emitting the frequency that we are having. So one moment you're in, you know, sort of jubilation, and then something happens and it shifts. That's exactly what's happening. And our bodies were never supposed to be static with the stories that we held in it. So that feeling of like, I'm going to pick up someone's stuff, it's also become sort of in the zeitgeist, you know, I'm so sensitive, I can't go anywhere. That's okay. You don't tell yourself that story, because it's okay to be sensitive, but it doesn't mean you have to carry it. So I'll share, when I work on people, I don't regard myself as highly sensitive, like I pick up every little thing and I'm like holding it for them. But I am obviously sensitive because I pick up what's going on, and I'll pick up an emotion when I'm in their field or working in their field. But it's exactly that. I pick it up, I let it go, because I absolutely know it's not mine. And there is no heaviness to it. So sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to make me cry. And I just, you know, sometimes I'll say it, sometimes I'll just I'll feel the tears. And then I just allow it to pass through, because I really know it's not mine. It should be like that with our own emotions. It should be like that.
Um, yeah, and that gives a sense of freedom. Maybe that we are not used to it, but it's how to say. Maybe just my opinion is to have this like wonder, because
Yeah.
is a new experience. Try not to label it from past experiences that we had, but more as an exploration, and see how it feels. And the more we practice, the more we try to connect to our energy field, maybe it becomes easier, and the experience will show more and more of it with time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's beautiful. And that's not to negate things that people have gone through that are really difficult or
mm,
challenging, or belittle that in any way. But if you have an understanding that, even if you don't live in this sort of, you know, esoteric place where you're, you know, everything has a meaning, because not everything has you know, an absolute, you know, heavy dissection of, you know, why it transpired. Sometimes, you know, just something happens, and that's fine. But sometimes things happen that are really heavy and really difficult, and it's not to negate the experience someone has,
mm,
but it's knowing that in the world that we live in, we tend to overcomplicate something that was supposed to, even there, bring us to another place, and allow that to move through, because otherwise, and we know this, you keep reliving it. It's a circle, right?
mm,
So in that field, in that layer, we know that if we're emitting a certain frequency, then all we're doing is calling upon more of that frequency to come forward. So when someone's holding in their, I'm sorry, I'm picking up someone's something in here. But so if someone's holding in their second layer, you're screening emotions and feelings, and you're holding a vibration in there of a pain that you had. Then what happens is you're holding it there, always sort of reminiscing about it and thinking on it. And all you're doing is calling that in. And we hear this, you know, obviously all the time now. But when you understand that it's in your field, it's in your auric layer, that is not something that it's like, oh, I'm calling it here with my mind. Well, no, you're actually calling it here. And as you call it here, you're going to bring experiences and people and more of the like to you, because it's on, if you're in that frequency. So in the exercise we'll do, we can bring in frequencies, which for this experience, I'll bring them from up on high and then ground us in afterward, actually. But there is a sensation or a feeling that I want everyone to try and see if they're not extremely visual, if you almost like outstretched your arms, if you could think of your field as that big and focus on out here, then when I call in the frequencies and the different layers of your aura, start to think of them off the body. And when that starts to shift, you won't even really be aware of the physical body. You just be aware of the energy shifts around you, which will just be influenced. Your body will be influenced by them. So it's the you outside of you, but it actually is the true being that you are.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful. And do you feel maybe it's now the right time to do the exercise
Yes, sure,
or meditation?
sure. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. So what I will invite everyone to do is to close your eyes and to go within. You can lay down or you can sit up straight. Either way is fine. Just take a deep breath in and hold at the top. And then exhale slowly through the mouth. I'm just going to connect in to everyone that's here and everyone that will connect in later. Okay. So from about 1.5 feet above your head, I want you to allow and breathe in sort of a golden white. It might be a gold and white mixture of energies. And it's starting to come down from way above your head. And this is the outer layer of your, it's like a clear outer layer of your energy egg. So we're going to just form this. Just an outer layer of your energy egg. And it's like a sphere. This bubble around. Just like an egg. But it's yours. So it protects, it filters, and it emits information. So the information we're going to alter is information that you would like to see a shift in. So if we come into this energy egg, we're going to bring in this golden white light right on the periphery. We're going to layer the energy egg with this light. This is the divine light. It's the connection with you and the spirit in your spirit. So this will broadcast anything that you need from spirit, ask of spirit, or require. I'm going to come in a little bit closer into the body. going to bring in what is a beautiful, it's like a light violet. These are the higher emotions, higher vibrations of who you are, your true self. And that's swirling all the way from up above your head, all the way to the periphery of the egg, through within your physical body and outside of your physical body. Anything you need to know, any information you need, come through. I'm going to come in a little bit more to your 11th work. This is where forces come in. You feel it's a little stronger. It's less subtle than the spiritual realm. It's a little bit stronger. And just breathe and allow the next layer to come in a little bit closer, coming into the 9th layer. And this is the layer that connects with others based on soul connections. And allow this layer to strengthen. And you can have the intention of receiving any information or any connections you might need to make for this layer. You're just making aware of what's already here. Come in a little bit closer into the 8th layer. And this broadcasts power and karmic issues, karmic connections. Strengthen that. What we need will come through here without trying. It just sort of happens. We're not usually aware of this layer. I'm going to come in a little closer into the 7th workpiece. This is a celestial layer. So we're going to clear the celestial layer because this layer is a layer of unconditional love. This is the layer we should get really comfortable with. Receiving and broadcasting out. We're coming a little closer into the body, right into the 6th layer. And this 6th layer this is beautiful, beautiful pink. And this is opening all of the chakras, connecting spirit into the physical body. We're going to bring this in all the way into the etheric template. The etheric template is the fifth layer. It's connected with our fifth chakra. This layer dispenses guidance, and it's heavier than our actual physical form. If anyone has anything physically that they would like to release, and here's where we'll just bring in the light and clear through the etheric. So we're going to clear the etheric layer. This beautiful blue. So whatever's holding in the physical body, any ailments, just allow them to go from the head all the way down to the feet in the fifth layer and allow it to clear. Then we'll bring this in through into the fourth layer, which is a beautiful green, and it correlates with the chakra in the heart. This is the astral layer. And this is what attracts relationships into our lives. So if you're wanting or needing to attract a relationship, even, in a particular love relationship, it's all in this layer. It's in this layer. We're going to bring from the top of the head all the way down this layer of green in this energy egg that we are in. Allowing it to wash and clear. Come a little bit closer into the body. So I want you to picture yellow, like the sun, into this mental layer. And this mental layer is where we hold beliefs, thoughts, mental processes, thought forms. And in this layer, if you can have an intention of releasing any ways in which you are holding on to something, a story, or rigid about anything in your life that you're wanting to shift. If you can see it in this mental layer, this yellow layer, and just have an intention of this yellow layer sits off your body, just clearing and cleansing this from the head all the way down into the ground. Just allowing it to rinse. And then continuing on to bring in a little bit closer into your second layer, which is orange. And this is the emotional body. Correlates with your second chakra. It's governed by everything that is housed in this chakra. So a lot of emotion, as we know, in the second energy center. So we're going to ask that this color from the head all the way down below our feet, this color orange, comes in and recalibrates and releases anything that's going on. Anything that's going on in the energy center of the emotions. Just release it. Then we're going to come in a little bit closer. And here's the 10th chakra. And as I mentioned, this is brown and it's connected to the earth. So if anyone has any joint pain, any fractures, or missing any missing nutrients, we're going to bring in the color brown from the top of the head and infuse this layer all the way down and around the body, through the body, and right down past the feet, right into that 10th chakra. And then we're going to come right up to the skin and maybe even right on the skin, right onto the etheric layer. This layer is red. It's like a cloud of red. And if anyone needs more energy, or if you just feel in general that you need more life force, if there are any chronic or terminal issues with your health, this is where we're going to cleanse and clear and bring in more energy from here, from this layer, right from the top of your head, and infuse the body and the organs. So we're coming from the top of the head, right through the integumentary system, which is the skin, and then right into the actual physical body. And allow that to seep in through the body, and then again move out, right out into the layer. You might be feeling a little bit hot, and that's okay. That's just the cells getting invigorated, giving you energy. You might feel tingling, and you might not. It's all good. You might even be feeling a little lightheaded, and that's all fine too. It's rare that we actually make conscious all the parts of our being, which is what we're doing. And then lastly, just to integrate this all together, within this energy egg, I'm going to go right below your feet. We're going to ask the energy of the earth come up from below the energy egg into your grounding cord, and then all the way up your grounding cord with whatever each individual here and now and in any time space continuum here be part of this. Perceive whatever anyone needs to receive, come up through the grounding cord, be infused into their individual energy egg, all the way up to the top and above your head. And then also just attaching and repairing any connection you have from the very top of your head through the top of your energy egg and then up through to the celestial, so your galactic cord. Just clearing and cleansing that cord with whatever and however you need for here and now. You can keep this energy and this vibration around you if you feel it for as long as you need, meaning that it's always there. But if you need this extra protection that we put on it by using the clear light around the periphery of it, you can allow it to stay there for the rest of the day, for the next couple days. Just so you get to infuse yourself with your own energy, with your own healing energy, because we all have that. We all have access to it. You get to sort of marinate in your own energy. And then when you're ready, you can come back, seeing if your actual physical body feels any different. Or you can stay there, whatever you choose.
I feel very relaxed, like in the body. It's more grounded. The head also, it's like, it's not heavy, but it's more like I'm feeling it more, and also more relaxed also at the same time, and also feeling the energy like around it. Yeah, it's like a warm energy around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I love that. I can tell.
Yeah.
I feel it too. Just so you know, we're all one and the same here. Yeah, it took me a minute to like sort of like come back because otherwise I'm going to go take a nap somewhere. But what it is it's so beautiful that you made that, because so often when we do any sort of work like this, we're so focused on this, and that was the whole reason for the discussion today. Was I wanted people to sense that this really informs the body, because I always speak of that, but it was like there's another way to allow people to govern that for themselves. So I can tell, because just the cadence of your voice is so different. It's like you're aware, but you can tell you're like, whoa, like you just got off a roller coaster or something. Right. Yeah. But that's you. Exactly. That's what's so nice. Yeah. That's your energy. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So
and also, everyone, we'd love to hear your feedback. You can type it on the chat boxes, or when we start taking questions, we will start taking questions in a few minutes. And so again, you can ask Natalia by either raising your hand on Zoom, by pressing reactions and raise hand, or by typing your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And before that, I would love if you can tell us about the one-on-one session you are offering. It's a 15-minute energy attune session with Natalia. And so the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, NATALIA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description, and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. So yeah, Natalia, I would love if you can tell us about this session. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, special for Monza, because I work one-on-one, and obviously I work with people like yourselves all over the world. And I think the way I've described my work is that I I'm there to serve wherever you're at. So whether it be something physical or emotional or both, obviously, whether it be working through your own spiritual gifts, whatever is needed, I assist in bringing through for you. It's usually a very relaxing session because you lay down. I do work with the chakras, so I will bring energy in through each embodied chakra and activate ones if needed as well. And when I do the work, what often happens is my intuitive gifts usually come forward. So I get dates when things have occurred, whether it be a discordance in the field or an illness. I get numbers and dates as to when it started and to usually the causal. And that's usually cleared quite quickly. I work on empowering the person that I'm working with so that they can feel the essence of who they are more readily. So if it's someone that's wanting to clear physical imbalances, it's really important for me to clear those, but it's almost more important for me to clear those so that they can see past them, so that they're not focused, as we were talking about, on the physical aspect of what's going on. Usually that happens in conjunction with something that's cleared physically, because then there's an awareness to how miraculous they actually are and how miraculous we actually are. So I realized early on in my work that it wasn't so much about clearing physical things, although that's fun and that's beautiful to see and to witness. And it's important, obviously, because when we're focused on the physical, then it takes us away from what we're really here to do, as well as working on emotional things and releasing those, because those, as we know and we just experienced, can be released in the field. And once we do that, then we have more energy and more vitality to do the things that we want to do, which is really why we're here. So I love working with people and seeing what they come with, because everyone comes with a whole basket of things that are different, and it's always very organic. It's always different, and I think that's where the magic lies, not just for them, but for me, because it's always an experience that's shared. So it's fun. It's always fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really fun. Like I shared also my part of my experience with you in the beginning of the call, and also I love because it's like the reading started with like the physical aspects and the reading of different parts of my body, which was really helpful as I mentioned. But also, like, I forgot to mention, like the second part in the end we did like a process, like you helped me to connect more to my essence, to my true self. And that was very, very powerful, because I really felt like the sense of being back home, like it was very, very profound. And even after the session, like we didn't talk, like I just stayed in that state afterward. It was just a beautiful experience. And
Nice.
yeah, I want to thank you for to again share your support with our audience. And also I know you are very busy, and also you accepted to offer sessions to our audience. So very grateful to you for that. And yeah, so everyone, I invite you to sign up for the session. The link again is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, Natalia. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on the YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. First, I want to share some feedback from Anna. about the process. Yes, that was a lovely experience. I had lots of tingling in my body. I felt lightheaded, some discomfort in my tummy, and I cried.
Oh, beautiful. And if she's still on the call.
Yes.
So you cried. So you were just releasing emotion. That's beautiful. So so I'm getting 8. So something happened. I guess it was either when you were 8 or 8 years ago, and that was just a release of that. You can share with Monsef if you want. We can circle back if that's gone, and if that's gone, then good. If not, then I can adjust it. But that's beautiful. Always emotion. So you allow the tears. That's the clearing. That's what we're supposed to do. So it's beautiful. Crying is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Natalia, and thank you, Anna. She wrote, great, thank you. I'll have to think back. And Maria on YouTube, she wrote, beautiful, very grateful, thank you. Ria, she wrote, feeling calm now. And Jill, she wrote, thank you for the wonderful process. I was deep into it and finally opened my eyes just now.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Thank you, Jill. And a question from Maria on YouTube. Do you believe grounding mats offer the same benefits as grounding outside?
I think they do, but they're, I mean, nothing, I shouldn't say nothing. There is something, the intentionality around it is there. So yes, I'll say yes. Obviously, if you are able to put your feet on the sand and on the grass, then you have direct connection with, the earth, but there might be something below the layer. So it's not that there's a better, but there's an intention. The intention of doing it is really all that matters. It's like we're talking about auras today, and a gifted healer or someone that can assist someone in healing has the intentionality around using these layers and these fields to influence someone else's subtle energy. So using your own intention on grounding is just as powerful, right? It doesn't matter if it's a mat or you're out in nature. It's the same thing as when you have an intention of sending love to someone. Whether you connect with them or not, or they receive it, that's not what's important. What's important is the intention behind it. So yeah, go for it. As long as you're intending it,
Yeah,
it'll work.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Natalia, and also thank you, Maria, for your question. And another question from Ria on YouTube as well. As I move out of an abusive marriage shortly and relocate to parents' place, I am worried about how this situation might affect my 9-year-old daughter.
Well, thank you for being vulnerable, and thank you for sharing, first of all. And thank you for bringing something that's real and certainly heavy for everyone to hear, so we can all send love your way, right? There's the intention of sending love to you and assisting you. Your 9-year-old daughter, how do I say this? your 9-year-old daughter will only be strengthened by your choices that are rooted in what's right and what's courageous and what's really needed for your safety and for hers. So that would be my feeling and my heartfelt truth, that there's no there's no other path to take but the right one, and your 9-year-old daughter will be fine as long as she's shown and given that love from you. Yeah, and I'm sending you lots of love your way right now. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Natalia. And also thank you, Ria, for the question. Sending you much love. Let's see. Anna, can you please unmute yourself?
Oh, hi. Yeah, thank you. That was a lovely experience. Even though I cried. Yeah, I was just wondering because I wanted to ask you, I kind of like had a bit of well, I had a consultation with a kind of like an angelic kind of channeler a while ago, and I'm trying to kind of work through a couple of significant traumas that occurred in my life, and one of them is more of like an emotional trauma and shock. And she was kind of saying to me that I needed to kind of expel it or whatever, like physically, like through my body. Like I do a lot of yoga and sound healing, and I find that it really helps. So, but I was wondering, like, sorry, because I came on late to the call, so I missed the first 15 or 20 minutes. But would like an kind of an aura clearing, kind of like, just wish it all away, rather than,
So are you saying that you feel you do a lot of yoga and such to physically to expel it? Is that what you're saying? She said to do?
Like I do. I do kind of like a lot of sound healing, and and at some point, because I do yoga every day because I have a bit of back pain, but and I usually cry like a lot of the time, which is and I know it helps. So I kind of was figuring that was what I was doing.
So in your I'm just looking. So in your spine, around L4 in the back.
Yeah.
Is that where you have pain?
I'm not sure. Like I never really studied science or whatever, but I do get I do get a lot of low back pain. It's kind of constant unless I do yoga. So
yeah. So so definitely, I mean, I'm a certified yoga teacher. I've been practicing yoga for 30 plus years. So
okay.
I definitely, yoga is incredible
Yeah.
because yoga obviously moves even whether no matter what type of yoga you do, you're releasing and moving pathways.
Yeah.
So absolutely yoga, but the only thing I sort of caught me, and I'm happy to work on your back because that will. So one of the things I'll say is if we remove the physical pain, then we're working on the layers, right? The subtle energies off the body. But if we remove the physical pain, then what I've had in my experience with healing is that takes the emotional pain with it, because they're the same.
Yeah.
So it's just a slower, denser vibration of it, and it's almost like when the body will disperse what it needs to in every organ or place that it's holding, will start to collect over time. It'll calcify, it'll stagnate wherever the energy is not flowing. So if we remove that blockage from the physical body, then oftentimes that emotion goes with it.
Yeah.
So obviously that's why yoga and any sort of movement practices in sound, because we are made of light and sound, because then we're we're starting to vibrate to a different tune, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're playing like raucous
Yeah.
heavy metal or something. But the word push it away, that's where I want you to reframe it, because you're not actually trying to just pretend something didn't happen or go like, get out of here, because
Yeah.
all that does is amplify something.
Yeah. No, sorry, I
Because
meant like whoosh it away, you know, like so it'll kind
yes,
of like
yeah,
take it out and then it'll be gone.
yes, yeah, yeah, and that's okay. But if you, and it's not that you need to integrate it either, but if there's an idea of maybe the word would be, or the sensation around it would be more of a release.
Mhm.
So what we'll do is, and we don't have to go, you know, personal here, but what I can do right now, if you're up for it, are you sitting?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So just close your eyes
Mhm.
and just tell me or let me know when you sort of feel this warmth on the front of your hip bones.
Oh, well, I mean, I can feel kind of you know, kind of like tingling around my glutes.
Yeah, perfect. That's it. So my energy usually comes in like that one. Okay. So I just want you to take a breath, and I'm going to come through the front of your hip bones, and I'm going to come all the way around your lower back. And just allow. I'm just going to remove this because this isn't something you're supposed to. I just got this visual. You're like wrestling with it. That's the word.
Yeah.
You know, it's like wrestling back and forth and up and down, and it's almost gone. It's back. It's like this constant wrestle. All right, so we don't need this anymore. So I'm just going to go into the lower back, and without giving a story or anything else, I'm going to gather it up. I'm going to gather it up, and Anna, what you might start to feel is like a heavy, dense feeling leaving the back of your spinal cord, your spine, and I'm just pulling that vibration out of your field, right out of your field.
Oh, yeah, I can feel it like really kind of like near the top of my shoulders and everything,
Yeah.
the top of my spine or near there.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, because that's been there a long time. So if you just allow this, I'm going to just bring in an energy from above your head, and from above your head, we're just going to bring in this frequency, and we're going to fill in where that was holding for so long. And I'm doing this because in that space, something will replace it. And we're going to replace it with actually an energy that is uplifting, that is growth, and that's moving forward from that. We don't need to go back to that. So I'm going to fill this in. So I'm actually going down your spine. Okay. And then we're just going to allow this. I'm just gonna, and here's where the idea of intention can come through. So everyone can do this for themselves. So through here, although I don't know Anna, I'm gonna call forth whatever is for her highest good, for her highest and next steps forward in this experience of her life. We're gonna call for support for that. And that should feel different. Let us know.
Yeah, just yeah, I've had like loads of you know, sensation in my low back. It kind of felt like it was rising up.
Mhm.
And you know, lots of energy in my feet and my legs.
Good,
Yes, it feels
good,
great.
good.
Okay, thank you
You
so much,
feel,
Walla.
oh, you're so welcome. Do you feel happier, like lighter?
Um, yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, I have a bit of tightness around my tummy, but I think that's just general anxiety I get, so I'll have to work on that. But
Okay, all right.
yeah, no,
So,
it definitely
yeah,
feels good around my back. Thank you.
all
It's
right.
really good.
You're so welcome. One thing before you go. So that tummy,
Yeah,
that's where you're going to bring in more. Um, you're going to bring in some more orange in the layer, like we spoke about on your second layer. You're going to
right.
bring that in from outside of your body into your physical body, and then that idea of having general anxiety, as you put it, that
Yeah.
won't be there because you don't need that. You don't
Okay.
need that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure, don't want it. Okay. Thank you so much.
So you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Natalia, and also to Anna. And let's see. So we have like a feedback from first Maria. She wrote thank you, and an emoji, smiling emoji with heart around.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Ria appreciates Natalia. Grateful to you, dear Monsef. Natalia, your words are giving me more strength. Yeah.
Beautiful thing.
And a
Yeah.
question from Linda. As we expand on our evolutionary journey, does our aura change and evolve as well?
Yeah. Yeah. So the bands are the 12 bands are always there. So they're always shifting and changing. So nothing is ever static. So the idea that anything in your actual physical body or energetic body in your chakras, those are always shifting and changing moment to moment. And we know this even from the physical body, like we get new organs every 7 years, right? It's like all the cells are gone, everything's been replenished. And that's even hard to conceptualize in your mind. You're like, how is that possible that I have a new liver? Well, energetically, that's happening constantly. So in our aura, it is constantly moving, and that's where the power lies, because that's where we understand that we're attracting and pulling in and releasing and pushing out, and it's all just flowing. I mean, it's literally like this. Like I use my hands a lot because I'm a healer, and that's where my sense comes through. But it's always just flowing and moving. And when you really embrace that, then you are not stuck in this is how I am and this is how I have to be. And those thought forms around the makeup of who you are, those start to be shed, because you realize that you're not. What you are is divine love, right? What you are is that feeling you had after the meditation, if you will, that we did. So that's what you are. And that is constantly just being bathed in whatever experiences you're having, but you're being bathed in it. So you don't literally sit in your bath for the rest of your life, but you bathe in it. You come in, you wash, you go in, like it's shifting, it's changing. And that's what's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Natalia. And also thank you, Linda. Anna Sherrod, I do feel more peaceful and at ease now.
Nice.
Beautiful. And I have Sue on the phone. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hello, Monisset. It's Sue.
Hello.
Hello, Lananya. I'm sorry, my voice is going here. I'd like to know, I'm having a physical challenge right now, and I was told I don't want to see stuff, and I have a lot of layers in my veil, like veils of layers. Are they attached to my aura instead of like the physical body?
So when you say you have that, does someone tell you that?
I have a sight challenge problem now, and I know the sight is slowly coming back. but yet I was told that I still don't want to see, but I have all these veils around me. Are they actually like my aura?
Well, you might. So I don't know what your sight challenge is.
Okay, I've lost central vision.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
so
the
here's
sight challenge.
Here, right. Okay. So here, and did that, what was 12? What was that 12 years ago that it started?
It started, I had an accident 10 years ago. This started mainly, the most of it started within the last 4 years. I mean, it was slowly doing it, but it became profound after, actually the last 2 years were the worst.
Okay. So one thing you know, without knowing, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't know what exactly is going on with your eyes. What I would look at, so to speak, no pun intended, is this is something that maybe Louise L. Hay would say, or what is it that I'm either one, afraid of seeing, or what is it that I'm not opening my vision to? Because there are many types of vision, and I know we are focused on this one, and this one is beautiful. We want to see. My guess is anything around the eyes. It's connected obviously to your sixth chakra, so it's behind. It's actually between the brows and through the midbrain.
Right.
You want to start to be cognizant and aware of working on that center, whether you're someone that senses into your body or your chakras, you're sensitive to it or not. That's a center you really want to work on, because inner sight is inner sight might be showing you something that, which is, I got this when you first asked your question. I wasn't sure how much I wanted to share. Inner sight is probably
just tell it. That's fine.
It's probably showing you things that most people that use just our 3D vision don't see. Hence the streams, the veils.
Oh, okay.
So what I would practice is in a meditation or just sitting with yourself and asking, what is it that I need to see? What is it that I'm afraid to see? Or what is it that I'm not seeing? And allow that, because you're getting sight. You're just getting a different kind of sight. So in other words,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I got the feeling that I have to open up my third eye, and I'm keeping it closed. The feeling, I could be wrong, the feeling I get was I was persecuted for it in past lives. And now this whole issue is coming up again with me, and they're almost like the issues being like, let's deal with this now. And I want to, but yet I don't know what's stopping me.
Well, that's okay. So again, we can go back to the intention. So if you do work with your third eye, and you do, any sort of meditation with your third eye into your right through the Brahmarandra. So it's almost like you have to focus on the back of that chakra as well. And maybe just start with allowing what needs to come forth, in really dropping any ideas that you're afraid of something or that you're holding back. Really just allow. That's kind of the practice we did today, was just dropping any of the languaging around constriction. Because like I said, I mean, the gifts, someone else, let's say in, allopathic medicine might say, oh my gosh, there's all these things going wrong with your sight. Someone in the more spiritual world might look at it and go, oh, wow, you're actually gaining insight.
Okay.
So,
I see what you're saying. I understand now.
So
yes.
It's the way in which you
start getting this big finally. In
the
other
way.
words, I have gifts and they're like there. I know what they are, but yet it's like, what do I do with them?
Yeah.
So that's probably like,
yeah.
like, what do I do with them? And it's like, well, what do you want me to do? And it's like, okay. But, and I have like all the other clairs except the visual one.
Well, there you
which
go.
is,
You do have it. Yeah. So you have
yeah,
it. So
and they have come forward very intensely, except for the visual one.
mm-hmm. So then
which is wild.
Right. So what you can also understand is that the degree in which you're going to be able to utilize or see will just be the degree in which you allow it. So there's nothing to fear. It's 2024. It's not, you're not going to be persecuted for having insight. You'll be celebrated. So that's my feeling around it. And then my sense is that you should just allow for whatever, in whatever degree, will come in. This isn't from out. So this is maybe one way to put it. This is not an outside force thrusting something upon you. It's
right.
you, it's your higher self, your more connected self, if you will. So it's only giving you what you can handle. Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, it makes more sense because I know deep down I will get my vision back. This is a journey that I chose. And I think by telling my story, for some reason, I feel it will help other people, that there is that hope. It's a journey. Enjoy it. And you view the world differently, basically.
To view the world.
But now, what color, though, is chakra?
I'm sorry, which color is which?
What color is the sixth chakra?
Violet. Yeah.
When the color comes,
I'm sorry, you broke up.
I see the colors, but I've been seeing aqua, pink, fuchsia.
Well, I mean, everyone is slight idea of the color is slightly different, but it's a violet, it's a pinkish violet. So
okay,
you start to
I'm seeing that now. That's what I asked. I must have turned it on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think because I never saw that color before until now. My whole room is lit up with pinkish purple. I'm going, okay. That's why I asked what the color was.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And that.
So basically, you just turned it on for me.
Yeah, we're it for you. That color is what connects you to spirit and to the spirit. So if you realize that you're being protected in seeing that color, then there's nothing in which to fear because it's coming through for you.
Well, that's the first time that color has come through. It's beautiful. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for allowing that to happen for me through spirit. And now I know I have to work with that color and everything will be a lot better.
Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Blessings to you.
Blessings to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Modestet. Lots of love and blessings to you also for calling me.
Much love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, also Natalia, thank you very much for the guidance.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And yeah, very, very grateful to you for everything you shared with us today. Yeah, I really loved the discussion. It was really, really inspiring, like the information you gave us, and then the meditation. It was really, I really loved it. And also thank you for the guidance and support you shared with our audience.
Of course. Thank you for everything that you do in the world. And thank you for such a beautiful and generous invitation and platform. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, and also thank you everyone for being here with us today. sharing this space and time with us. Thank you for the feedback, the questions you shared, and yeah, Anna, Sherwood, thank you so much. Linda, thank you so much for this wonderful call. And yeah, again, so I invite you to sign up for the 15-minute one-on-one session, energy attunement session with Natalia, and you can do that on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, NATALIA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, so with that, everyone, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.